Yes, I just again.
That's great. Okay.
Just very briefly say, so it's lovely to be back with Kenton again for another Shabbat, another one of your Kabbalat Shabbat services. It's so lovely to be again with our local community, the community in the school, working together on such a nice project, which we've really enjoyed, which word of it is doing the rounds in the department, and it's just a really lovely thing that we get to do together. Unlike the previous 2 weeks that we've had kind of two people working together on the same Dvar Torah, and it's been kind of a little bit longer. We've got actually two slightly shorter Divrei Torah on separate topics. So we'll go first to Liana, and then we'll go to Noah. But they're both lovely ideas that the students have discovered themselves about Shabbat. So without further ado, we're going to start with Liana. So Liana, in your own time, if you'd like to unmute, and we'll begin with you.
Hello, I'm Liana Goldman, and I'm in Year 8 at JFS. Thank you for inviting me to be part of your Kabbalat Shabbat on Zoom. In our recent Jewish studies lessons, we have been discussing what we enjoy and struggle with regarding Shabbat. We came up with some questions and tried to answer them using both ancient and modern sources. One question that we had was, why do we wear different clothes on Shabbat? During the week, we wear other clothes that are less special than the clothes we wear on Shabbat. When I asked this question, another question popped into my head, which sounds a lot like the questions we ask on Pesach. What makes Shabbat different from all other days? We can answer this question using 3 different sources from 3 different eras in Jewish history. From the Tanakh, we will look at the word Yeshayahu Hanavi, the prophet Isaiah. We will look at the Shulchan Aruch, written in Tzvat by Rabbi Yosef Karo in the 16th century. And lastly, we will look at the Peninei Halacha, a modern halachic work put together in Israel in recent years by Rabbi Eliezer Melamed. Isaiah chapter 58 states, "If you hold back your feet from trampling Shabbat, and if you rest from pursuing your affairs on God's holy day, if you call Shabbat delight, and if you call Hashem's holy day honored, and if you honor it by not going about your regular ways, nor look to your business, nor strike bargains, then you will be able to seek God's favor. God will raise your honor to the heights of the earth, and you will enjoy the inheritance of the family of Yaakov, your father, from the mouth of the Lord has spoken." We can already see here the call to make Shabbat something special, separate and different. We should not be going about our regular ways or doing our mundane business. This is the source for the mitzvah to create an oneg Shabbat, a special Shabbat atmosphere through what we do, what we eat, what we wear, and what we say for 25 hours. The Shulchan Aruch instructs us that we should wear nice clothes to celebrate the arrival of Shabbat, just as though we were meeting a king or a bride and groom. And the Peninei Halacha focuses on the idea that Shabbat is not just any other day of the week, like all the others. We have to make a special effort in our actions and behaviors to keep it separate and special. The message reinforced by all these sources is that Shabbat is a special day. We must honor it and treat it with respect. The quote from the Shulchan Aruch that we should wear what we wear to greet a bride and groom reflects the concept you heard a few weeks ago about the Shabbat Queen. It refers to clothes which are very special and beautiful, as a bride and groom are very important. When Shabbat arrives, we should be ready to greet it dressed as though we are ready for a wedding. Shabbat Shalom.
Wow, Shabbat Shalom. That was really
Thanks
good.
so much, Liana. Amazing. So it was brilliant. It's why we wear nice clothes on Shabbat. So let's head over to Noah, who has another question, which he also helped find some answers to. Noah, when you're ready.
Hello, my name is Noah Graham. Thank you for having me at your Kabbalat Shabbat this evening. In our recent Jewish studies lessons, Mr. Cohen has been helping us explore questions that we have had about Shabbat. I've always found the idea of a time switch really interesting. To me, it seems like a loophole for doing melacha on Shabbat. The Mishnah lists 39 categories of creative work that we must refrain from for the 25 hours of Shabbat. And I wanted to ask, can we set up a situation before Shabbat which would cause malacha to take place on Shabbat? A classic example will be when we want to have hot food for Shabbat lunch. We know that cooking is one of the 39 malachot, so all our food needs to be ready before Shabbat comes in. We also can't directly use electricity to turn on an oven or hot plate to warm up our food. But if we have a hot plate set up with a time switch, which will cause it to turn on during Shabbat, then we can use it to heat up our food. But again, this just sounds like cheating. For an answer, we must turn to the Mishnah Torah, the halachic guide written by the Rambam in Egypt around the year 1177. In the third chapter of his Laws of Shabbat, Rambam states, we are permitted to start forbidden work on Friday afternoon, even though it will be completed by itself on Shabbat. We are only forbidden to do work on the actual day of Shabbat, but when the work is done by itself on Shabbat, we are permitted to benefit from it. The Ramban lived in a time before hot plates and electricity, but he lists several examples of work which would continue throughout Shabbat, such as opening a channel to a river, to water gardens and fields throughout Shabbat, leaving sweet smokes burning for their smell, soaking material in dyes, and loading an olive press with weights. All these things can be set up on Friday afternoon, even though their malacha will continue to take place on Shabbat itself. So in short, we are permitted to set up a time switch, as any malacha that we are doing takes place before Shabbat begins and is completed of its own accord on Shabbat itself. This view is confirmed as permitted halachic practice in the Shulchan Aruch, but I believe that there is more to it than just a technicality. I think we can learn a lesson from this about our attitude towards Shabbat. Shabbat should be the most relaxed day when we do not have to worry about anything at all. It's like when you go away on holiday. The more prepared you are and the better you have packed, the more relaxing your holiday will be. You won't have to rush to the shops to buy sun cream in a language you don't speak. The same is true with Shabbat. If we put in the effort beforehand to make sure that everything is ready, if we pitch in with the cooking and cleaning so that everything is done well in advance, then Shabbat itself will be relaxed and enjoyable. The hot plate will come on by itself to heat our lunch, and we won't have to worry about any food preparations, as it has all happened in advance. And it is a message that we can apply throughout our lives. If we want something to go well, to go smoothly, then we have to prepare for it. Thank you and Shabbat Shalom.
Fantastic, really good. David, Mr. Harris, would you like to add anything to that?
A moment.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mr.
hi students.
Oh, sorry.
We have, whoops.
Oh, I've just knocked everybody else off. Let me just add everybody else on. Okay.
Probably just as well.
There we are. Hold on. Add spotlight. There we go. There we are. That's it. 4 of you.
Okay, right. Okay, right. Yeah. I had to apologise to begin with because our internet connection is unstable, which is great relief for everybody. Since I have to do the Kabbalat Shabbat, you can escape, but so can they, I suppose. So I probably end up doing Kabbalat Shabbat to myself, not for the first time. Hi, students. We haven't met before. If you were 5 years older, or maybe I were 5 years younger, then we perhaps would have met, because up till about 5 years ago, I was deputy head teacher in your school. And I can see that Ilana Liana, I beg your pardon, is a member of Angel House. Noah, I can't see. Which house are you in? Are you also an Angel?
Brodetsky.
You're in Brodetsky. Okay, well, I can't see that because you haven't got your uniform on. I won't make a comment about that, of course. Anyway, what I wanted to say is that I do know, I gather from Liana that your head of year is Rabbi Hodges, yeah? And I'm so old, I can even remember a time before Rabbi Hodges came to JFS. So, you know, yeah, I'm even older than he is. However, let me just say that although I've left the school has a great chunk of my heart. And it's always a great pleasure to hear JFS kids doing what you've done. There was a famous rabbi, I forget his name, but the whole rigmarole about what he'd learned and who he'd learned it from. And the sting in the tail was that he had learned more from his students than from anybody else. Well, you're not my students, but in a way, you are my students, or you might have been, because you're part of the JFS community. And what you'll learn is once you're in the Jewish JFS community, you never, ever get out of it. You're stuck there for life. So just let me say how nice it is to have heard you. You've brought great credit to yourselves, to your parents, and to your school. And don't ever forget that that you have the privilege to attend what I think, between you, me, and the lamppost, is the best school in the world. I mean, as far as other schools go, it's not even close. So treasure that, enjoy it, Shabbat Shalom. And I can understand if you want to move the Kabbalat Shabbat, you know.
Okay, right. That was.
Well, if you want to stay, you'll be very welcome. I mean, I could have paid you.
I can just add one word, Rabbi, just to reflect David's thoughts. They bring absolutely, they bring credit to themselves, their families, the school, and I find that absolutely, as David mentioned, I've learned far more from them probably than they have from me. So it's a privilege to teach them, and it's been fantastic to be a part of your Kabbalat Shabbat services for these last few weeks. So
Thank
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen. Thank you for that. And thank you for being your students along for the past few weeks. And let's do this again sometime. Let's do it again. That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, now I'm going to go. We're going to go further. You're all welcome to stay. You're all welcome to stay. Let me just put my little. There we are. Oh, there we are. I'm back on again. Lovely to see you all. And bad news in Miami. I just want to move on now because as we know what's going on in Miami, and we are praying for, you know, if nobody's heard the tragedy that's taken place, 159 people have gone missing. I do hear, I mean, it makes, it's terrible when anybody, you know, we lose anybody. And it's part of our Jewish community also. It's there. And I think we should realize that. We know that there are at least 20 people who are missing from the Jewish community. It's Miami. I mean, that's one of the biggest Jewish communities in the world. So it's likely to be, and indeed, actually from the Chabad community, funny enough. So these things are just coming out. I think it's only correct. Let's say a little kapitel, a chapter of Tehillim of Psalms. I'm going to share it with you on the over here. Let me just do this. I hope you don't mind. Let's just say this Tehillim together. Hold on, let me just do that. Okay. I hope you can all read it together with me. We're just going to read it through. I hope that's okay. Shir Lamalot Esa Einai El Harim Ma'ayin Yavo Ezri Me'im Adonai Osei Shamayim Va'aretz Al Yitein Lamot Raglecha Al Yanum Shomerecha Hinei Lo Yanum V'Lo Yishan Shomei Yisrael Adonai Shomerecha Adonai Tzilcha Yad Yaminecha Yomam HaShemesh Lo Yakeka V'Yareach Ba'Loi Lo Adonai Yishmocha Mikol Ra Yishmo Es Nafshecha Adonai Yishmo Tzeitzcha Uvoecha Me'ata V'Yad Olam. Just going to do one more, which is Achenu Kol Beit Yisrael. Let's sing this together. I hope you've got it. Achenu Kol Beit Yisrael. Achenu Kol Beis Yisrael, Hanasunin Betzara, Uvashivia, Ha'omedim Bein Bayam, Uvein Bayabasha, Hamahakam Yirachem, Aleihem, Yoitziim, Mitzara, Liravacha, Umeyafela Liyoira, Umishibut Ligeula, Hashta, Bahagala, Ubizman, Ariv, Benoma, Amen. A quick Tavar Torah. This week's Seder is Parshat Balak, and not to be confused with my name. Balak employs Bilam to curse Bnei Yisrael, and instead of curses coming out, what instead come out? Brachot, blessings. And there's one bracha that we use, and we have it, in fact, indeed, in the front of our synagogue, not over here, but in the very front of our synagogue, it says, Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkanatech Yisrael, how goodly are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places of Israel. And there's a whole lot of different viewpoints what this is referring to. It's saying that Bilam saw that the tents of the Bnei Israel were not facing one another, and there was sneot in the homes, and this would be something that would last forever. Or according to the Gemara, it says, what is this change? The goodliness of your tents is referring to Elu Bate Knesiot, Bate Medrashot, Sheba Bavel. These are the synagogues and the study halls of the Jewish people when they are in Galut, when they are in exile. I think that's a beautiful, important point, because when we think about it, we say these words as we enter into our synagogues. And the important point is, wherever we are, we're in our home or we're in the synagogue, we should remain connected to Hashem and make sure that we have Kedusha, holiness in that particular place, wherever we are. Now we're going to continue with David. I'm going to replace my spotlight with you, David, and here we go. Let's have a look. Oh, I just wanted to wish Howard. Howard, are you there? Howard Grossman. Are you there, Howard? Howard? Hi, Howard. I just want to wish you Chaim Aruchim. I wish you long life. Last night we said a prayer for Audrey. It's now 1 year since Audrey passed away. I just want to wish you Chaim Aruchim, long life, and only Simchas in Mitzvah Hashem. Now we go on to Yedid Nefesh. Let's move on. Here we go. I hope you can all see that. Are you still there, David? David,
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Yeah.
Oh, you are? No, I'm looking forward to hearing you. Here we go. There we go. Are you ready?
Okay. You got me. Yeah.
Good.
You ready?
Good. Let's go for it. Let's go for gold.
Yedid nefesh harachaman meshach avdecha ritzonecha yarutz avdecha kemo aya yishtachavel muchadarecha yeravna yedidadecha Minofet suv v'chol tam Adonai ziv haolam nafshi cholat avatecha Anael narafa nala v'harot lano zivacha As titchazek v'titrafek v'hayatala simchat olam yigalena ufros chavivi alai et sukat shalomecha. Ta'eretz mikvodecha, nagila v'nismacha bach. Ma'erev kiva moed, v'choneinu kimei olam. Yan 9999, yan 9999, yan 9999, yan 9999. Get a 9999. Get a 9999. 999. Then a 9999. And a 9999. Then a 9999. And a 999. And a 9999. And a 9999. And a 9999. Bum bum. Yeah, 999. 999. And a 999. 999. Yeah, 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 999. Lechun ranan al Adonai, Naria letzu yishaynu, Kadma panav b'toda, Bizmirot Naria Shirul Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shirul Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shirul Adonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Pasru Miyom Leyom, Yeshuato, Sapru Vagoyim, Kavodo, V'chol Ha'amim Nifleotav, Ki Gadol Adonai, Umul Meot, Norahu. I'll call Elohim, bum bum bum. He call Elohim, Amim Melilim, Vadonai Shamayim Asa, Hod V'Hadar Lefanav Oz V'Tiferet Mihikdasho, Havul Adonai Mishpachot Amim, Havul Adonai Kavod Va'os, Havul Adonai Kavod Shemo. Sayu mincha uvo lechatzrotav einai ishtakavu ladonai v'hadrat kodesh chilu mipanav kol haaretz imru vagoyim Adonai Malachaf tikon tevel baal timot yadinamim b'meisharin yizm hashamayim v'tagel haaretz yiram hayam umelo yalo sadai v'chol hashebo 999 az yiranenu kolat seyar Lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel b'tzedek v'yamim memunato 1.999 999 999 Yidam by 999, Yelai 999. Adonai Malach Tagel Haaretz Yismachim Rabbi.
Adonai sinura, shomen avshot chasidav, miad rishayim yatzilei, ozaru ala tzadik, ulishvei lev simcha, simchu tzadikim Adonai, vehodu lezecher kodsho, mizmor shir Adonai shir chadal. Yiram hayam umelo, tevel v'yoshveva, yinharut yimchachu chaf, yachad harim yiranenu, lifnei Adonai kiva, lishbot haaretz, yishbot tevel b'tzedek, v'yamim b'mesharim. Adonai malach yigzamim, Yosef rim tanut haaretz. Adonai b'amrad love, Kadosh Baruch Hu Udanan yedaber alehem, shabru edotav, v'chok natan lamo. Adonai Eloheinu, ata nihitam, el nosei ayita lahem, v'nokei mala liladam ranumu. Adonai Eloheinu, v'ishtachavu lihakodsho, Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Mizmor leDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai kavod va'oz, Havul Adonai kavod shemo, Ishtachavul Adonai b'hadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod, Yirim Adonai al mayim, al mayim. Rabim, Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai be'hada, Kol Adonai shover arazim, V'yishaber Adonai et arazei halevanom, V'yarkidem kamo egel levanon, V'siryam kamo ven re'emim. Kol Adonai chatzchotzef lahavot, Eish Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yecholei layaldot, Vayechesov ye'arod v'eichalo, Kulomar kavod, Kulo omer kavod. Adonai lamabul yashav vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yavarech et amo v'shalom. L'chadodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabla, L'chadodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabla, Shamar v'zachar b'dibur echad ishmiyanu, Elam meyuchad Adonai echad. Ushma echad b'shem u'tiferet v'litila, l'chadodi likrakala, B'nei Shabbat nekabla, likrat Shabbat l'chu v'nei lecha, Ki mekar ha'beracha me'rosh miketem, Nasu chasof ma'aseh machshava techila, L'chadodi likrakala, B'nei Shabbat nekabla, מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה ומצאי מתוך אפיך רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה והוא יחמול עלייכם לה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה את נערים מעפר קומי לבשי בגדי תפארתך מעל יד בן שי ועת הלכת מקרבה אל נפשי גאלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה את אוררי kiva orech komi ori sher daberi kavod Adonai alayich nigla lechadodi lekrakala Pnei Shabbat nekabala Nananai lo tevoshi velo tikomi matish dochachi anai umatemi yamananai bach yechasu ani yami va nivnata ir al tila lecha dodi likrakala yam bananai b'nei Shabbat nekabala lecha dodi likrakala yam bananai b'nei Shabbat nekabala V'hayulim shisa shosayich Yamainai v'rachaku kol mevalayich Vayasis alayich Elohayich Kim zad chatam al kalai lechadodi likrat kala yam bananai b'nei Shabbat nekabala I lechadodi likrat kala yam bananai b'nei Shabbat nekabala yam nananai yam ilusmo tifrotzi ve'et Adonai nai taritzi ambananai al yadish ben parzi Nismachai nanai v'nagila lechadodi likrat kala yam bananai b'nei Shabbat nekabala lechadodi likrat kala yam bananai b'nei Shabbat nekabala Shalom, Adon, Gam Simcha, Uvetzola, Toch Emunah, Yam Sugula, Bo'ichala, Lechadodi, Likrat La, Yam Bananai b'nei Shabbat bala I lechadodi likrat kala yam bananai b'nei Shabbat nekabala.
Unmute, Rabbi.
Unmute. Hi, David.
Hi.
Hello, David. Hi. Sorry, I was just talking to myself. Would you like to sing anything more? A little request, maybe?
You're saying you keep freezing because our internet's
Sorry, what did you say?
unstable.
Oh, your internet's not there. Okay, shall we just finish off with Yigdal? Shall we go back to
Yeah, that's a very
a good idea?
good idea. Yeah. Yes, very good idea. Okay, Yigdal it is. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Your internet is very unstable, I have to tell you. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, I'll go in the other room.
Yeah, might be a good idea. Oh, he's gone. We've lost him. Is he coming back? David? Ah, there he is. He's come back to this one. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Ooh, isn't that clever?
Right,
David?
is that better?
Oh, it's much better. Oh, yes. Better picture. Lovely. Oh, look, it's Vivian there. Hi, Vivian.
Here as well. Yeah.
I've always been here.
Yeah. Gosh, yes. And it's no yellow bars. It's all white bars here. It's a good one. Okay.
This is a Masorti minion where men and women sit together. So.
It's okay. This is not a million anyway. So okay.
We'll finish with
Look away. I'll look away. I'll look away.
We'll finish with Yigdal. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Go on.
Right. 1, 2. Right. Yigdal Elohim Chai v'yishtabat nimtza b'yeinei tel metziuto echad v'yein yachid k'yichudo ne'lam v'gam ein sof li'achudo ein lo demut haguf v'yein haguf lo na'aroch elav kedushato kadmon l'chol davar asher nivra rishon v'yein reshit l'reshito Hino Adon Olam L'chol Notzar Yorek Gedulato Malachuto Shefan Nevuato Netano El Anshe Segulato V'Tifarato L'gam B'Yisrael K'Moshe Od Navi U'Mabi Nato Torah Emet Natan Mi'amoel Al Yab Nevio Neman Beito Lo Yachalifael V'lo Yamir Dato Li'olamim L'Zulato Sofer V'Yodea Satarenu Sotavad V'Kapmato Gom Elish Chesed V'Nifalo Notein Rosh Hara Kerishato Yishtak L'Ket Yamim Mashiachenu Liftot Mechakeket Yeshuato Meitim Yechayel Baruch Chasto Baruch Adayat Shem Tehilato Meitim Yechayel Baruch Chasto Shem Tehilato.
Well, I have to tell you, David, this is a better connection. This was really good. Yes, it was.
You'll have to start again.
We missed half of it. Okay. Well, if you missed it, you can come at 7:15 for Minion in the show. Okay, but it was really good. Thank you, David. Shkoyach.
Thank you, David. Great.
Thank you. Very good.
Thank you, David.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Enjoy
the longest Shabbos, 10:28.
Thank you, David. Shabbat shalom. Thank you.
The longest day. It sounds ominous.
Yeah.
Shabbat shalom. Thanks very much.